what's up, my little love bugs? Oh, I was gonna do like a heart another way, but someone told me that's a gang sign, so I'm not gonna do that. I want to talk about an overused trope in movies, the romantic subplot. And before any of you comment, oh, you don't want no romance in your movies because you're single and you don't have a man, and don't, and living my best life, and what about it? But if you know a attractive 20-something-year-old that's looking for a catch, call me. I'm joking. I might cut that out. I might cut that out because I don't want to get my feelings hurt in these comments. The reason I want to talk about this is because I feel like every movie I see nowadays, no matter what genre, there ends up being some type of romance subplot. Less so in certain movies, but I like thrillers, I would say. But even then, I that's not a big movie genre that I watch. So a lot of the ones I like to watch have those like comedies, like action movies, all that stuff, like those happen to be very prevalent in the movies that I watch. And there's like no denying that having a romantic subplot, it has its appeal. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Some of those movies I enjoy and the romance adds to it. But I feel like sometimes it relies too heavily on the romantic subplot as a way either to fill a gap in screen time or to give, I guess, character development in a certain way, which I'm not the biggest fan of character development through romance only. I find it kind of weird. These romantic subplots are starting to make movies more formulaic and predictable. Like if I see the movie and at the start of it, it's like a woman and she's in like her screen time is up, then I know she's going to be the romantic love interest. And it's just like, oh, okay. Or when you see the really pretty woman like make like a long stare and you know that she's going to betray him and then end up helping him at the end, like stuff like that, it becomes like so predictable that it's like when I see it, I'm like, dang, I just spoiled the movie for myself by knowing that this is what this is. There's so much diversity in human experience outside of romantic relationships. And I feel like when you focus primarily on the love story instead of other aspects like human condition, like friendship, family dynamics, personal growth, societal issues, things like that, like, instead of exploring those, only really exploring the romance and nothing much outside of it, then I kind of just like, interesting. Not to mention, it would be really cool to see movies that kind of subvert the typical romantic tropes or romantic subplot because then it's like you're not expecting it. It switches it up. I love when the movie switches up what's going to happen. And I like when my movies get happily ever afters, but sometimes those movies without the happily ever after is kind of left ominous, or it's you don't really know. It's not like a understood final, or it's not really like the end with the implied connection that is a happy the end. Those are the movies that kind of sit with you a little bit longer. They add a little bit of depth and like realism to the story being told. Not to mention, I feel that a lot of female character arcs tend to revolve around the romantic subplot, romantic relationships. To connect back earlier when I said I don't really like romance as a character development, because oftentimes when there's a female character, that's her only character development. Her love of a man, and that's literally all that is to a personality. All the growth she goes through is solely connected to the love of that man, or the love that she receives from man, the love she gives that man. And it's often icky. That's why I said I'm not really a fan of it, because it's kind of but by trying to subvert or kind of stay away from the romantic subplot, then you can kind of diversify the narrative of that female character and you can give them a journey, an arc, ambition, strengths, other things. Because I feel like, let me get a little deep here. I feel like when girls who grow into women are often told to find the love of a man in order to complete themselves. And this isn't every girl and this isn't every woman, but I feel like it has impact. And I feel like when all you see female characters doing is fall in love and that's how she becomes a better person or evolves, or I don't know, like her situation is different in some way, I feel like a it's such a at least such a bad taste in my mouth. Not only that, when you focus on the main plot, it can be even better. Like sometimes I feel like romantic subplots kind of like water down the main plot, and the main plot can sometimes be very powerful and compelling without needing any extra razzle dazzle, if you feel me. So this isn't to say that they're like romantic subplots are problematic by any means, or they make the movie worse. But I feel like in some movies, especially ones that are supposed to be telling an individualized story or it's something very specific, by adding a romantic subplot to I don't even know, but just to add it kind of doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're adding it for the purpose of elevating the story somehow, like the love is unrequited, so they grow as people finding new ways to love themselves and have others love them or be loved by others or something, like I think that's kind of cool. But I feel like when it's just like, oh, she's not interested in him at first, oh wait, he realizes that she was a girl all along, it's kind of done to death at this point. Like let's find new ways to explore how we show romance, how we show love in movies. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do you think romantic subplots kind of water down movies? Do you think they elevate them? If so, provide some examples of either or. Maybe I'm not seeing the right movies, or if you just like romances, then that's fine. no hate to any movie watcher, any book reader ever. And it's like, you know, what's so funny? It's like I read romance books all the time. Like romance books is the main genre in which I read. If I was to go on my Kindle Limited right now and like see what genre I read the most, romance is it's got to be number one. It's got there's no way it's not number one. So I find it interesting that I'm taking this take on movies, but I guess when I did some introspection, I realized that it doesn't appeal to me. Maybe it's because like usually times romance and movies tend to be cringe and not cringe in the way like someone says cringe, but to me, it makes me physically draw in on myself. Maybe I don't like PDA. I'm just gonna take a little more introspection. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and spread love to the world. Have a nice day.